So this is one of my modules, and I knew this was going to be the easiest or hardest module to light because there's actually no buildings, there's no road plates, there's no landing pads, there's no nothing on this module. Okay, over here is half the habitat. So this is module number 9, and you can see the hash marks on here is module number 9. It's the bottom right-hand corner. Closest to the audience, closest to the viewers. Habitat's there, the monorail station's there, the big tower's over there. Forget the picture, the big tower's over there, and the rocket launches way over on that side. So this is the bottom right-hand corner. It says right around the front, Ontario Brick Builders. It's probably going to have some more text over here, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so this, I've been ruminating what I'm going to do about this landing or these 4 crater plates for the longest time. Because this is my ad hoc crater area, because there's no buildings, there's no nothing on it. The only thing that's on it in storage is this doodad way back here, and basically that comes out and then goes into storage. So this thing just fits into here, so it's a little doodad. And then sometimes I have the rocket launch on here, and sometimes I have the mineral detector on here, and basically I'm going to have 4 or 5 different scenes that I can drop onto these crater plates. I plan on doing what I did a long time ago, which was build an actual crater with minerals and stuff in it. And so the mineral detectors and all the diggers that came with the classic space sets, the 6821s and the other ones, can do something. So and like, again, I don't add sets and people walking around just for the sake of filling up the layout, because then it looks too busy and it looks like you just, you know, threw up and threw stuff all over the layout just to make it look busy. I want the people in the universe to be doing something, and you can just tell right now that what they're doing is they're launching this rocket. Right, they got the guys and radar dishes and whatever. So these guys are here to launch this rocket, and I'll go into that set a little later. But the one thing I noticed during my lights out in the driveway was that when the lights are out, these 4 crater plates, this one module, again, the habitat's right here, doesn't shed a lot of light on this. And this was a completely black area. It's completely blacked out. There was no lighting here at all. Now, as I add more lights to the rest of the layout, some of that is going to filter in over here, but still it was a black area. And I didn't want to put a permanent building here because it has to be quote unquote ad hoc, as it changes from show to show. And if you build a building, permanent building that has lighting, then that takes away from whatever you want to do. So a long time ago, I was trying to come up with an idea of a lighting truck, a truck that has portable lights. And this portable truck would be used in a situation in universe when they're away from anywhere else that has lighting to do stuff like on the moon or on an asteroid. Like if you're in the dark zone, if it's away from the sun or star or wherever you are in the world, it's the dark side of the moon and you need lighting. So I started working on a transport vehicle that would carry around a portable spotlight. and I came up with lots of iterations, even during the show with Jeff and Jeff and Rick and David St. Cyr. I was rebuilding the lighting kit on here. So the front vehicle, it's kind of a basic classic space knockoff. It's got the same air tanks in the front. It's got the wheels with the wheel wells, and it's got this guy. This did not come in any set, but it's very, very much similar to any set that you would have got back in the day. I used a half set offset just to get the little trans yellow in here thing on the back. So nothing remarkable about this guy at all, except it's not the same as any other vehicle that they put out, like that guy over there. And but I used that just to have big, quote unquote, big and heavy enough to hold this guy or pull this guy around, because this is the actual lighting kit. This is the lighting part. And it's, look, let me drop it, and it didn't break, which is a good thing. Let me just put this thing down here so I can show you this thing. So I needed the lights to be collapsible in universe so it could, you know, go in storage and be carried around. But I also needed it for me to work. And so this thing was hidden inside the bottom here for the longest time. The connectors, the power connectors, was hidden inside here. And I like that, except the remove it from the layout just got to be pain in the butt. So what I found is using the little hookup that Rob had, the one wire to 2 wires, which is what I use because I have 2 lights on here, is that it works perfectly well. If you see this now, it works perfectly well using the hinge, the bottom part of the hinge as the round part, and then having the studs, so this thing will not come out at all. It won't slip out, because that's the one thing about Rob's circuit boards, is that they're very, very hard to keep in one place. So this thing will not come off, which is what I want to do. And now this thing has the added benefit as it goes up like that. Now you have a huge light standard that can be taken around. Let me move these guys for a sec. That can be taken around in universe to wherever it needs to go and be set up. And it has the same ability to tilt the lights at whatever we want them to point at. And the wires aren't that messy, and I use the 1x2s with handles and a couple other nifty ways of basically keeping the wires where I wanted to keep the wires. But then it just comes in like that, and then boom, see? These things come. This is the one part, is the clippies don't hold on to these things very well. But that's it. So this thing goes down, and this thing comes up. So this is possibly my final iteration of this guy. I'm happy with it. I used the 2x8 plate here to go up to here, but I needed these 1x2 with handles not to latch on anything down here. So I put the 2x4 and a 2x4 hinge plate on here. So that this wheel well is not sitting on anything. I think it's fine. I'm not gonna lose sleep over that, because when it's folded down like that in universe and it's being transported around, that's not too shabby. It's not that much bigger than the actual vehicle that's pulling it, because I didn't want something huge and bulky. This is sort of bulky when you look at it. It's kind of bulky, but it's got, it's got the same hinge setup as the 6950. So, and it's got these cute little greebles on top and blah, blah, blah. I tried to hide a little bit so it doesn't look like it's just hinge plates. So I'm happy with how this thing turned out. And I'm also happy that I put the connector, the actual wire connector, on the back of it, because now when I take so this is the idea. The wiring is going to be just sticking out between the base plates like that. And again, the habitat is here. I might move these wires in a little tiny bit so it doesn't interfere with the habitat. And I'm going to probably drill the hole right now. These wires are just tucked underneath the base plate. But I'm going to probably drill the hole right around here, and I'm going to have the connector right here underneath, as with all my other connectors. And so this wire will probably be moved over here somewhere. And yes, you'll see it's black, but this will always have. So let's do this. Make sure this gets connected properly. Boom. So now this is connected here, and so you won't notice. And this is where I wanted the vehicles anyway. So basically, that's where it's going to be, right? And then this vehicle gets disconnected, just like the one over there, right? So it parks the lighting standard, and I'll put these guys back up here because I took them off as they're walking. Minifigs are always walking somewhere. Put that there, and then I will just turn this on. I realize that one of my lights is out. There we go. And I'm going to turn this off. So now, this entire base plate, and I'll show you, just by turning off these lights. Come on. It's black, and now it's on. So this entire base plate now, these 4 crater plates, are lit up by that light standard and this light standard. And I think that's pretty good, right? So when you, okay, there's a loose connection somewhere in here. I have to figure that out. So sorry, that's bad. Maybe it's not pushed into the plug properly. So now, during lights out, you have this setup where even if it's just by this self, it's all self-lit, right? I got 2 transportation vehicles with spotlights on them that can go, and again, the ad hoc can stay exactly the way it is. It can be the rocket launcher one time, it could be the mining the next time, it could be the looking for stuff the next time. I might even do a crash 918, which is what I want to do right here. So, and then the emergency crews are coming to it. So this is now lit. And of course, it was my easiest one so far. I mean, I haven't drilled the hole yet, but overall, this is my easiest setup so far, by far. So easy to set this up, and that's all it needed to do, right? That's all those two vehicles needed to do, is just light up this area. And I think originally it was just half the height. I just used 1 hinge plate and the lights were on the top. So they were only this high, the lights were here. I think that'd be too low. I like the fact that the lights are a little higher now and shining down on this area instead of shining across on this area. But overall, I mean, my whole plan with lighting, with the spotlights that I've been building, which are all right there, was to have them on this side pointing that way. Because if you're a viewer from over here, like this is where I would be standing looking at the layout, the lights would be shining onto whatever I'm looking at from this direction. So I would see fully, because this is a little bit shadowed here, a little bit shadowed there. But in the end, on this one quadrant, I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'm really not. I think this is perfectly acceptable. So this is my one module, module number 9, that is already done. Again, I'm going to drill the hole. I have to take off that base plate over there and drill the hole so the wires can, right now they're just tucked, as they say, they're tucked underneath and they go over there, which would interfere with the module over there. So I do have to take this one off. I do have to cut the hole with my drill, my hole saw, and put the basic kit in there. And if I put the basic kit there, I will have the ability to add more lighting as necessary or more wires as necessary, because maybe I want to light this guy up at some point. Maybe I want to light some other things up that are here. So there will be a basic kit hidden underneath that base plate, and possibly the ability to pull wires up along this seam and that seam for whatever I put here. I mean, usually the all-terrain vehicle is parked over there, so I wouldn't mind lighting up the all-terrain vehicle, or at least the little mini space station, portable mini space station that comes with the all-terrain vehicle. I'd like to see that thing lit up, but who knows, in the future state. But I think that's perfectly acceptable. Now, specifically about this guy, because this is one of my favorite sets. I always like this set, but of course I modified it, and I'll just put this down and I'll show you how I modified it. I talked about it in my set review. But first of all, I modified the antenna to make this thing centered, because I never liked how they put it as a 1-stud offset, because they just put it right on a 1x2 hinge plate or hinge brick. And of course they didn't put it right in the middle of that because they couldn't. So I just put a 2x2 plate here, and then of course a 1x1 round plate, and then the dish. So it's actually centered to this piece now, instead of offset by 1. I like that better. But more importantly, the back end, the one huge deficiency about the rocket launch set is that you had to take apart the rocket to get it off the launch pad, the gantry, whatever you want to call it. Now, these are newer pieces than came when the set was released. Straight up they are. But overall, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 new pieces, newer pieces, and it holds the rocket right there for transport. Other than that, and then I had to put a stopper at the bottom, put the L bracket at the bottom so that the rocket can sit on something. So that's how I changed this set to in universe be better. So you don't have to break it, you don't have to take it apart to get the rocket off the launch. So I've done that to all mine. And so some people, honestly, at shows come up and say, that's not the original build. You're right, it's not the original build. It's as close as possible to the original build, with the fact that it adds the added benefit of working better than the original build. And I'm not faulting their original build. They couldn't do this with the original build. They could have come up with something else maybe to hold it there without taking it apart. But that would have been a much bigger build than this set was, and it would have been a lot more money, a lot more pieces, and it would probably have been really ugly. But with the newer pieces, I'm able to do this, and it holds the rocket perfectly secure. It's very easy to build, and I'm very happy with it. And centering the radar dish, I did that in the other radar, 886, I think it is. I centered the radar dish. I don't like it offset by 1 stud. I don't like that. Other than that, all the other sets are original. That's original. This is original. That's original. Although this one, I think it came with blue, and I put red because all the thrusters in universe for me are red, not blue. So this has got the red 1x1 round bricks on the back instead of blue ones. I think that's that set. Could have been another set. But that's it. That's all. This is lit up now. I'm going to drill the hole. You don't have to see any of that. And I'm going to put it back in storage. I'm going to grab the next. Actually, I already grabbed the next. This guy over here. I'm going to be taking that landing pad off and lighting him up. That's going to be hopefully a quicker one because there's only one landing pad on that module. I'm happy with this. I honestly, this works for me. It was quick, efficient, not too much to do, and as I say, the ad hoc, I like the idea of for every show, because then there's something different to see for people who've seen it before, and I can like kind of recirculate sets and ideas here. I have at least 3, and I can possibly have more than that to do with this spot here. So 15 minutes, quick. There you go. Bob's your uncle. Or at least your cousin. No tangents. Woohoo! So I do want to, this is not a tangent. I do want to thank Dave St. Cyr for inspiring me, because he's a fantastic classic space builder. And just throwing ideas off of him all the time is just great. And he's so enthusiastic about the theme. First of all, he makes fantastic mocks. Secondly, and I'm looking forward to do the collabs with him. And the fact that he's just one province over for me, it's gonna be great hanging out with him whenever we get through this crisis. And I'm so looking forward to doing the collab with him. Also, the people online on my YouTubes that are always leaving comments, seriously, I adore you guys. It's utterly fantastic. And some of you don't comment on my YouTube channel itself, and you send me text messages or messenger through Facebook. That's absolutely fantastic too. I really do enjoy the chats offline as well. So keep that up. Again, I'm not going to say, hey, you should do this all on my YouTube channel so I get more hits. No, you call me on Facebook, Messenger. If you happen to be a close friend of mine, you have my cell phone number, text me. I love talking to you guys. I love the fact that you guys always like my videos, and I do appreciate that. It does make me feel like I'm not wasting my time. I would make these videos whether or not I ever got 1 like again. I'd still be making these videos, because they're not made for you specifically. They're made for whoever wants to watch them, and I'm glad you guys do watch them. And I go back and I watch them again, and I realize that, you know, I say a lot and whatever else, but in the end, I like watching my stuff. I like watching everybody else's stuff, and my appreciation is because when I watch my own videos, I say, oh, what can I do to improve this? What can I do to make this better? And I keep on looking at these videos 5 months later, 10 months later, a year or 2 later, and I say, oh, look at how bad that was, and look how much better I made it now. So it's constantly improving by watching the videos and getting different ideas and letting your brain ruminate on it for a bit. But anyway, that's it. That's all. I'm going to turn this light back on. I'm going to show you once again. So this thing just basically breaks down like that. And I do, the clippies are a little bit of a pain because they always pop off. And then that goes into there, and then that just goes into the storage bin. I think that's perfectly acceptable. I think it's a cool set, a cool mock for moving portable lighting around. It's got enough doodads and greebles to make it look like it's supposed to be in universe. And having these little wires on the outside like that, I'm not going to worry too much, because there's always going to be something here to hide the wire, even if it's not connected to anything. So I just want to get it farther in, because right now it does pop out like that. It's not even, oops, it does pop out like that because it's not even like taped inside. So when I put the hole there and run the wires back to there, these wires will be more over here, and it'll be underneath basically, and you won't see them at all when these sets are on the layout. So that's basically this module done, and I'm going to go to bed now. So everybody out there, honestly, stay safe, take care. Bad weather's coming in my area right now, and I might not be going to work tomorrow. I'll have to see what the weather's like, but I want everybody to stay safe. It's February. We're 46 days from spring, I guess somebody said, and we'll have to see about that. I don't know. Forget the tangents. Everybody stay safe. Take care. Bye.